Welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And today I want to talk about the throat chakra. I feel like in my meditation and in my channeling, in my own personal time, I just kind of came to an understanding more that the throat chakra is a filter, and the reason why it should be talked about is collectively speaking, uh, cleaning up the air quality, cleaning up the earth has a lot to do with our immune system and the throat chakra. Also, uh, pushing the human body, we're living longer despite the bombardment of toxicity going on multiple levels. Humans are living longer. And so we're kind of going beyond our ancestors' limitation. Hence, a lot of body shutdowns and immune disorders, uh, and vague conditions that feel like burnout and things like that. So, as hum, so yes, humans used to live very long lives when the planet was clean. You know, very long lives. Who knows how long? Okay. And since humanity has chosen to separate themselves, living in a time of separation, uh, actively separating themselves, I think we're coming full circle around to the realization that science and God are two sides of the same coin. We're going to eventually simply realize there are natural ethics in our universe. Those ethics show up as laws. Those laws show up as how things work. Very practical. If you hurt someone else, built in, you naturally feel guilty unless you've been hurt before. So, hurt people hurt others, period. This isn't exclusive to humans. This is very basic stuff. There's no real way around it. All the psychology, all the science, all the new technology of measuring energy and cells and hormones and all kinds of stuff points to the same thing. Have a, and we could go on and on and on about that. So there's a level of personal responsibility where you become your own healer, your own doctor, and you become the light for yourself. You become your own lighthouse. You become your own hero. You become your own savior. The story is about you. Then life really starts to open up its doors. So people are always seeking like quick fixes or something sensational, but they really haven't put together the basics. You know, I just so I channeled a major video, and I thought it was just so much information and it was kind of all over the place, fitting, you know, and I was like, the inner critic and the censor came through and said, you know what? Is this really serving others? And the answer is no. I can just deliver that information in a more calm, slow way. We don't have to fall in line with shock value and superficiality, and get lost in all the mayhem. So, bringing it back down to earth, simplifying it. Um, the human body is an energy system, it's a piece of technology. And if it's going to run on electricity of some type, it needs to be grounded and anchored into the earth to get that magnetic polarity, which then sets up the circuit for the the electricity. It sets it all up and makes it go. So most problems, people So people are getting too caught up in the psychology. I need to open up my heart. Oh, I need to learn forgiveness. Like they're getting caught up in like attitudes, morality. They're getting caught up in these things. And yes, but those are actually kind of not primary. Primary is learning how to ground. That's why I stress it in my videos. It's like I've been on the earth for a while and I've been in many New Age healing circles, from Reiki to alternative meditation to magical schools. And I've met a lot of people doing all kinds of things, from singing bells and sound bath to card readings to shamanism to psychedelics to everything, okay? And things that don't work, you know, things that become like chronic, like someone's working on something chronic of a psychological nature, alternative medicine may support, but it can't be the main go to. So a lot of people have it backwards. Uh, so counseling and therapy kind of don't work because the science isn't explained to the patient. Assuming, so let's talk about your feelings, let's talk about your history, let's talk about your thought patterns. Okay, well, let's talk about, so really what needs to go on if counseling and therapy is ever going to move past where it's at, it needs to start sharing the psychology, the science part. And we have to realize that this is kind of actually a new field. A lot of people don't realize that counseling, psychology is a new branch of science. And science is it's pretty much an art form of measuring things, usually using instruments. It's not a faith, it's not a religion, it's not here to prove or disprove. It can be used to prove and disprove, but truly it's there to measure. Hence, mathematics is the universal language of science. It measures, it describes things, and makes the invisible quantifiably visible. Doesn't so there is a huge misconception with science that in order to be a scientist, you're only looking for some quantifiable means, some tangible things. No. Scientists can be very abstract, believing in all kinds of things that are unseen, just like wizards. The methodology is to quantify it, bring it to light, using some way of grasping it. And so technology helps science and they work hand in hand. Uh, you know, and this isn't separate from mysticism. So there's a really stupid thing about something like there was like a meme, being mass produced part of, you know, and it was all something about the difference between science and magic is science is real. And that is like the stupidest thing I ever heard. I'm like, science is the child of magic. Do you not think humans were intelligent beings wanting to measure and quantify things? Don't you think someone doing geometry and studying the stars was branded as a witch and a wizard? And an ignorant person who couldn't go to school, who didn't have the means, or was rejected by their color of their skin, because that did happen. Uh, the, they're trying to understand what that person is doing, and to them it looked like magic, or just an intelligent person, observant of the weather, observant of the seasons, their knowledge of when to plant things, and the farmer's almanac. You know, this kind of handed down real knowledge was, because it worked, was seen as magic and mystical. Because it worked, And it's kind of, how you live on Earth also becomes the science, you know. So that little tangent, that kind of detour, was to kind of help you broaden your mind to realize we're all doing the same thing. We're all working with unknown things. We're all trying to make our lives better. And we don't have to waste our time uh, dealing with morality, dealing with religion, belief systems. Let's just be here now. Okay, Onyx. Our body has a nervous system. It runs on electrical impulses. We probably convert a lot of our food into energy to make that happen. Okay, there's a lot of cellular communication going on by nervous system impulses and hormone release through the body through chemicals. Those are the two ways our body communicates. And most of our experience is subject to that balance. Okay? So we're finding out everything is so interconnected on a quantum level, on a personal level. Uh, and so the old theory of science doesn't work. Man separate from nature, man separate from God, man separate from the quantum field, the universe. We're finding out everything is so interconnected. Our gut health, the bacteria, and what we do to ourselves affects others. Being conscious of our mood, being conscious of our thoughts. And so we come to this place and we have handed down guides, not beings, but roadmaps like the chakra system, like the tree of life, like astrology, like tarot. These are guiding roadmaps that kind of spell out through number, through patterns, through shape, an evolutionary path, a path back to wholeness, a path back to alignment, a path back to interconnection, a path. And so you can use these roadmaps. So we are using the chakra system today. And you don't have to be a Hindu, you don't have to subscribe to anything, but it's like, okay, probably the thyroid and probably the neck. And what is going on? The head tends to be where we think of thoughts and focus in the mind, and most of our five senses are kind of in the head area. Then we have this not really very valuable neck. It, our head is supported on this giant body, and our body looks like it's all supporting the head. And so you could say this is the front of the worm, and your butt is the tail of the worm. So we're not an advanced, organized organism, but somehow we're functioning, okay? And so when I was thinking, so you'll hear all sorts of traditional stuff, but you know what? Tradition's dead. It's like over. Here we are right now. How can we, what is presently going on that deals with our current situations, personally and collectively? And I view the throat chakra as the big old filter. We have all this information coming in, and if we take anything personal, it gets digested and we respond to it in our body. And literally, food intake, media intake, there is such thing as too much noise, too much porn, too much horror movies. And so we're looking at balance. You can be in but not of the world, which you can take in so many different ways. But I look at that as a healthy balance. Be in the world, be active, get what you need out of it, but then also know to abstain, know to pull back. Cave, go to your man cave, meditate, go to your sanctuary. And so if we're going to address chakra issues, we have to kind of, let's start with the basics. Your environment, where you live, where you work, is bombarding your energy system. Is there anything practical you can do to adjust it? You know, clean your room, like literally deep clean it, throw away old junk, lighten your load physically, and then practice balance in your life. So, the tree of life is the Western version of the chakra system. And the whole tree of life is balance. The whole message of it is balance. Any way you turn it, inside out, upside down, it's balance. And it's balanced with the heart. So now, so we see there's a lot of wisdom in these patterns, traditions, and teachings, and different perspectives that can give us new insights for our own toolbox, our own personal evolution. Okay, so the responsibility is yours. And then I'm just gonna put it out there, artists use the occult, the symbols, the systems for new levels of inspiration and insight. Okay, so artists, you're already mystics, you're already magical. Use these systems for your creative expression and reinterpretation of the cosmic cool going on. You are already at the top of the class. People who are not in their creative expression, follow artists, poets, painters, people, their lifestyle, their needs. They're like, we live in a society that throws away the artist, but the artist is the master of manifesting. They are the mystic manifester. They are the true wizards. So we're there, and so there's a value course correction that needs to happen within yourself. And for a lot of people, that happens later in life after burnout. Oh, now I need to do yoga. Oh, now I need to watch my diet. Now I need to adjust my values towards my health, instead of waiting for that, or if you did, that's fine. You can just, do that course correction now. So when you think about writer's block, a block of creativity, or even trying to think out of the box, the big missing secret is the throat chakra. When you want to improve your channeling, when you actually want to hear guides, when you want to hear cosmic beings, when you want to have everything happen, everything from above, from the spiritual level down, yeah, your crown is connected to it. That information dumps kind of in these. So you, in a weird way, you can't talk about a chakra without including all of them, but you could say the upper half of the chakras is from crown chakra all the way down to the heart, top half of the heart. Okay, and that is like a crystal tube. That is neutrality. That is balance. How do I get to neutrality, Onyx? What is neutrality? How do I balance the polarity, the duality? Practice the art of being neutral. Practice the art of evening out the extremes in your life. Be assertive where you're weak, and and practice self-discipline where you're strong. Learn to rest, learn to take breaks. And so the throat chakra relates to the 11th sphere in the tree of life, and it really makes sense as a standalone. So if you're having difficulty meditating, if you're having all these spiritual problems, it's because your fifth chakra is needing some attention. So an example of a low level operator using their fifth chakra, it will be loud, aggressive, obnoxious talking. It will be excessive talking, pointless talking. So any information that's truly not essential. is excessive use of the fifth chakra. Is it bad? No. And when you're a teenager and you're exploring and you're expressing yourself and you're learning and you're developing, go ahead. You know, you don't have to be a prude. You don't have to be a nun in a monastery. But when you're going, when you're getting when you're getting serious now, uh, then you want to balance out how much noise, music, talking, information is pouring in through sound and how much information is pouring out of you through your sounds, through your body language. So the throat chakra is really like kind of like top tier master level of self discipline, self control. It doesn't have to be like in a painful way of self control, it's more of a mindful way. The more aware and mindful you are, and so some people really take mindfulness to a whole different level and they usually leave the heart behind. The heart will help you balance, stay warm, stay compassionate, stay vigilant, stay in life, excited, joyful, happy, soft, pleasant, relatable. So a lot of mystics become unrelatable. They get too specialized in their field, or they get too obsessive into their cult education, uh, and they go into hermit mode. They go into third eye witness mode. Too much. So we have to balance that. Okay? So think, okay, so obviously there's a communication going on from your mind and your heart to your mind. So, inspiration, feeling inspired, following your life plan. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What are all these questions and confusion? So, you're either too up in your head, question, 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 can't tune into your physical being, can't tune into reality, and it shows up as financial loss, it shows up as poor relationships because you're just all up in your head, which is a quick cure. Just start moving, reconnecting to your heart. The fertilizer of your lotus is actually in the heart. Okay. um that's anyways, when you bring that in, now your bandwidth, which only was operating very small and very dense, now is expanding. Now is opening up to possibility, warming up with beautiful colors, romance, softens you out a little bit, poetry, and you start to regain the vision. You start to see the metaphors. You start to see the magic in life. Your mind is taking in so much. You start to see creative solutions. There goes your writer's block. There's your genius, creative, new ways of making more money and whatever it is in your career. There's the better cooking now in your food. And so now, with this warmth, with this pleasantness, now you're going to be more selective with what you choose to hear, what you choose to eat. Suddenly, your life becomes art and you become graceful. You become flowing. You move through obstacles in life with far less trauma. Okay? So, most people who have trauma disorders have a dysfunctional throat chakra. And they have like literally, they polarize and go back and forth, or they just stay up here, or they just stay down there for long periods of time. And there's like no solution. And the answer is to leave both the doors open, balance. Uh, and also, obviously, becoming present. So, one of the big keys missing for a lot of people is to embrace the present moment. Like, really, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is maybe a good book to start with. But was so much talking even for me, you guys. I have to take breaks. That is the pain of me making videos. I love to share, and it's actually can be quite hard to just sit and talk for 30 minutes or whatever. When I want to balance out and be silent and receiving. So, we are running out of time, and I didn't get through everything that I wanted to. So I'll probably continue with another video. Um, but now you're really starting to understand. The throat chakra is the bridge, but it's also uh, like the bridge meaning the go between two different worlds, a world of physicality and heart and sensation and life and sensuality and pleasure and connection through our senses, and then this conceptual world of perception, planning, plotting, thinking. And then the truth is this whole system can't be separated, can't really be compartmentalized into just a throat chakra. I'm just having a throat chakra issue. No, you're not. You're having everything else but the throat chakra. Most people are having the weakest link is being broke because you've been overusing a different chakra. Could have been your crown, could have been your solar plex. Um, so, but what's so look at your stuff holistically. And so, when I was doing my earlier kind of tuned in, channeled, and just thought about and pondered and contemplated, it's like words of wisdom, words of inspiration. They're a very different format. They're a very different way of communicating. And it's coming from something larger, something greater, more connected. It's inspired by your true self, the I am presence, your spirituality, the universe itself. And so when it's inspired, that's the appropriate use of language. If you're going to share anything with the world, don't you want it to have to pack a punch, to create a change? And it's probably going to be not your ego talking. It's going to be a little deeper. Some people call it soul or spirit. And you don't have to use those big, heavy, loaded words, but you could start off with inspired, elevated. And so when you start adding elevated words and you start to clear the lenses of your eyes to see a brighter world, a world of hope, a world of possibility. Because on the quantum level, every possibility exists. That means any way you see it is true. So you don't have to worry about something being true or not true. It's all dependent on you. So you might as well choose something good and watch your life transform. Okay. So that's why I'm saying clean out your eyes, clean out your mind. So clear, neutral, empty is a nice, clean canvas to draw and create on. It's a blank page to write on. It's an empty room to meditate in. In this empty room, you've created space, your inner temple. If you've done our other meditations, you get this already. Now you can invite something in, hopefully something better than you, that may go under the form of an ET, a higher intelligence, a divine being, an angel, whatever it is, it needs to be greater than you. Okay? Bring that energy in. Onyx, isn't it me as well? Yes, it's just a greater version of you from another dimension, from a parallel reality or different plane of possibility. It doesn't matter. Even if you made it up. If you made up something better than you, that is amazing. That was pure magic. Congratulations, you're a wizard now. Okay, you're a mystic. So we invite the light in to this beautiful space. It's easier to invite things in when you start to cultivate a warm, loving, compassionate, empathetic heart. Because now your brain, when you put the brain with compassion, when you put the brain with empathy, all these doors open. The lights turn on. Your inner vision starts to work. Humans not using their heart, not using their follow your senses, follow your bliss, follow your passions, follow that sensual feel good. It's gonna lead you to awesome places. So we gotta expand, we gotta open up, we gotta breathe. If something great is going to be in your presence, it probably wants to be with the best part of you, the most loving, the most compassionate, the most understanding, the most empathetic, which all translates to most aware. If you truly have a concern for something, if that truly concerns you, look deep and you'll find your heart, and it will be saying, that hurts someone. That's not good for the earth. That's not good for me. If I was in that person's shoes. And the motive is loving, just like the universe. Boom. Alignment. Let the wisdom flow. Create. Create. With that inborn sense of natural ethics from your authenticity, from your truth. So being your authentic self, being totally aligned, connected to how you truly feel. There's only one emotion, honestly, and it's love, or the oneness. Anything else is some like nuanced perspective or fractured version of that. That's not the bullseye. It's near, but it's not the bullseye. So anything less than wisdom is not true logic. It's missing the mark. So things you don't understand are loaded with confusion. You're missing the mark. So when you hit it dead on, because it's full of wisdom, it's full of understanding. Understanding is the blend of wisdom and compassion. You understand it, you see all the different angles.